Ladies and gentlemen, dream builders, legacy creators, I welcome you to a new chapter of your life. Today we dig deep into the powerful truth. There is one invisible substance, the thinking stuff, that lives inside every human being, that fuels all creation, all wealth, all impact. If you plug into this substance, your life will never be the same. You'll stop chasing scraps and start creating legacies. We live in a world where people are taught how to make money, how to save money, how to invest money. But very few are taught what to become. They aren't shown the substance behind the substance. The real material is not brick or cash. It's the thinking that births the brick, the cash, the business, the legacy. Today, I'm going to take you beyond the surface. I'm going to lead you into the source, the thinking stuff. And when you operate from that source, you don't just earn, you impact. You don't just live, you leave a legacy. There's a force you can't see, can't touch, can't measure with your hands. But it's the foundation behind every dream that ever came true, every empire that was ever built, and every legacy that was ever created. It's the invisible substance that exists behind everything you can see, the thoughts that form the unseen architecture of your life. Every structure, every invention, every fortune, every breakthrough started first as a thought in someone's mind. Before the gold came the idea, before the business came the vision, before the success came the belief. The invisible always precedes the visible, and the greatest mistake most people make is thinking that wealth is created by hustle alone, when in truth, wealth is born in the mind long before it's earned in the world. This is the reality most never tap into because they are too busy reacting to what they see instead of creating what they desire. They let the outside world dictate their inner world, but those who understand the invisible substance, the thinking stuff, play the game differently. They know that everything they hold in their mind with clarity, belief, and persistence eventually takes shape in the physical world. Thought is the cause, matter is the effect. You become the architect the moment you take control of your thoughts, because that's where creation begins. When you start to think in alignment with vision, purpose, and certainty, you begin to mold this invisible substance into form. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a sculptor shaping the unseen clay of your life. Most people try to rearrange the outer world, change jobs, switch cities, blame others, wait for luck. But nothing truly changes until they transform their thinking, because your world is a mirror. It reflects your dominant thoughts, your emotional energy, your internal state. You attract not what you want, but what you are in vibration with. The invisible substance always responds to the quality of your thought. If you think from scarcity, it produces limitation. If you think from doubt, it produces obstacles. But when you think from power, vision, and purpose, it moves mountains. The invisible doesn't discriminate. It simply obeys the energy you emit. That's why mastery of your thoughts is mastery of creation. You have access to the same substance that built every fortune, every innovation, every transformation. The difference between those who create and those who only dream is not luck. It's the way they use their thinking power. Every time you think deliberately with conviction and emotion, you impress that invisible substance with a blueprint. You are giving it form. When that form is held long enough, when it's backed by faith and consistent action, reality begins to bend around it. It's not magic, it's law. The unseen becomes seen, the thought becomes thing, the idea becomes income, the vision becomes legacy, but you must hold your thought steady even when nothing around you looks like it's working. That's where most people lose the game. They get distracted by appearances and forget the power behind the unseen. Understand this, the invisible substance is always moving, it's never still. It's creative by nature, constantly forming and reforming according to the dominant direction of your mind. Every time you complain, doubt, or fear, you instruct that substance to create more of the same. Every time you think abundance, gratitude, and faith, you command it to bring opportunities, ideas, and resources into your path. The key is awareness, knowing that your thought is not empty. It's a creative act, it's a cause that has an effect, and once you start living consciously, thinking intentionally, you become a deliberate creator instead of an accidental reactor. The invisible substance doesn't care about your past. It doesn't hold grudges or remember mistakes. It responds only to what you are thinking now. Right now is creation. Right now is the workshop. So ask yourself, what am I impressing on this substance? Fear or faith, limitation or legacy, because the quality of your inner world determines the design of your outer one. You don't need permission to use this power. You were born with it. It's your divine right. You are connected to the same substance that formed the stars, shaped the oceans, built civilizations. The only difference is awareness. Once you awaken to it, you stop chasing and start creating. You begin to understand that everything begins within. You start to act, speak, and live as if your vision is already real, and the universe aligns to that vibration. The invisible substance is loyal. It can't betray you. It becomes whatever you command it to be. So guard your thoughts like a king protects his crown. Don't let small thinking infect your vision. Don't let fear write your future. You have within you the creative power that builds worlds. Use it deliberately. Think greatness, think growth, think legacy, because what you hold in mind with belief will soon hold you in reality. The invisible substance doesn't just create wealth. It creates you into the person capable of carrying that wealth. And once you master that, you no longer chase the world. The world begins to move in rhythm with you. There's a massive difference between building wealth and building legacy. Anyone can accumulate things, money, cars, titles, properties, but very few create something that outlives them. Accumulation feeds the ego, legacy feeds generations. Accumulation fills the bank, legacy fills hearts, and this is where most people miss the point of success. They think it's about having more, not becoming more. They chase possessions, but never discover purpose. They run after status, but never develop substance. They live for applause instead of impact, and the tragedy is, when they're gone, so is everything they built. Legacy is not about what you gather, it's about what you grow. It's about building a foundation so solid that when your name is no longer spoken, your influence still breathes through the systems you created, the people you impacted, the values you lived by. True wealth isn't counted in numbers, it's measured in transformation. A person who builds legacy understands that money is just a tool, never the target. You can't take it with you, but you can send it ahead of you in the form of impact, contribution, and change. The person driven by accumulation asks, how much can I get? The person driven by legacy asks, how many can I lift? One mind is transactional, the other transformational. The first dies with what it owns, the second lives through what it gives. The irony is that when you chase legacy, accumulation follows anyway, because purpose always attracts prosperity. But when you chase accumulation without purpose, you end up empty, no matter how much you have. You see, wealth without vision creates entitlement, wealth with legacy creates empowerment. The difference is internal, what drives you, what anchors you, what your success means. Legacy-driven individuals see wealth as responsibility. They understand that the more they have, the more they owe to something greater than themselves. They build not just businesses, but belief systems. They don't just scale profits, they scale principles. To build legacy, you must first detach from the noise of the world telling you that success is measured by luxury and visibility. Legacy doesn't shout. It speaks through consistency, character, and contribution. It's the quiet power of someone who built something real, something that serves, something that matters. Accumulation ends with you, legacy begins with you. The moment you decide that your life will be about more than just your comfort, you cross into legacy territory. Ask yourself, what will my name stand for when I'm not here? Will it echo because of the cars I drove, or because of the people I elevated? Will it be remembered for possessions, or for principles, the legacy? Minded know the answer before they start. They move with intention, knowing every decision writes a line in their story. They live aware that the way they think, act, and build will outlive their physical presence. Legacy doesn't mean you have to be famous. It means your existence made a difference. It means someone's life was better because you showed up. It means your vision became a structure others could stand on. It means you left wisdom, not just wealth. Because money disappears when mismanaged, but wisdom multiplies every time it's shared. The real currency of legacy is impact, and impact starts with integrity. You can't fake legacy, you can fake wealth. You can rent it, post it, flaunt it, but legacy can't be manufactured. It's earned through years of discipline, sacrifice, and alignment between what you believe and what you build. Legacy doesn't require perfection, it requires purpose. It's not about doing everything right, it's about doing something meaningful. There comes a point in your journey when you must ask yourself if what you're building will matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, because the truth is, time erases everything that isn't built on purpose. When you're gone, your cars will rust, your clothes will fade, your house will belong to someone else. But your principles, your teachings, your influence, your values, those are eternal. That's the power of legacy. When you stop chasing accumulation, you stop competing, you start creating, you stop needing validation and start living by conviction. You start measuring success not by how high you climb, but by how many you help rise. You realize your wealth has no real power until it becomes a vehicle for something bigger. Legacy is not an afterthought, it's a daily decision. It's how you show up when no one's watching. It's how you handle failure. It's how you lead when it's hard. It's how you treat people who can do nothing for you. Every choice either adds to your legacy or erases it. So when you move, move intentionally. When you build, build with eternity in mind. Because at the end of the day, life will test what you built. Time will strip away everything fake, everything shallow, everything temporary, and only what's real will remain. Only what was built with heart, faith, and purpose will endure. That's legacy. It's not about leaving behind possessions. It's about leaving behind permission. Permission for others to dream bigger, act bolder, live stronger. When you embody that, you don't just make money. You make history. Everything that exists began as a thought. Every skyscraper, every innovation, every movement that reshaped the world started in the unseen dimension of the mind. The invisible precedes the visible. Your outer life is nothing more than the projection of your inner world. The way you think molds the way you live. The form your life takes is a reflection of the mindset you carry. You cannot outturn, outbuild, or outgrow the quality of your thinking. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe, what you embody, what your mindset consistently produces. Your mindset is the architect. It takes your beliefs and gives them structure. It takes your vision and turns it into results. Everything around you is a manifestation of the patterns within you. Change your mind and you change your life. But the problem is most people are trying to change circumstances without ever transforming consciousness. They keep rearranging the outer furniture while ignoring the foundation beneath it. They chase results without addressing the root, and that's why their life keeps repeating in cycles, because the form can't change until the mindset does. Form follows thought, always. You can't produce abundance from a scarcity mindset. You can't build greatness from doubt. You can't construct excellence from fear. Whatever dominates your thinking will shape the substance of your life. If your inner world is chaotic, your outer world will mirror that. If your inner world is disciplined, focused, and driven by purpose, your external reality will align with that frequency. The truth is simple. The universe responds to identity, not intention. You can speak all the affirmations you want, but if your belief system contradicts your words, the form will reflect the belief, not the statement. Mindset is not about what you say. It's about what you truly accept as possible for yourself. It's about the story you tell yourself every day, the one that runs quietly in the background, shaping your choices, your habits, your outcomes. If you think small, your life will shrink to fit your thoughts. If you think bold, your world will expand to match your vision. Your mindset decides your level of movement. The body can't go where the mind has never been. Every limitation is mental before it's physical. Every breakthrough begins with a shift in perception. The moment you start thinking differently about who you are and what you can do, everything around you begins to rearrange itself to reflect that decision. This is why discipline of thought is everything. You must protect your mental atmosphere like a fortress. Don't let fear, doubt, and negativity camp in your head rent free. Every time you entertain weak thoughts, you're shaping weak outcomes. Every time you rehearse failure in your mind, you're rehearsing it into form. But when you focus on strength, when you see yourself as capable, when you feed your mind with conviction and vision, you start building an inner structure that life can't help but mirror. It's not enough to wish for success. You must think from success. You must embody the mindset of the person who already has it. That means seeing yourself as capable before the evidence shows up. That means thinking abundance when the balance is low. That means thinking victory when the world calls it impossible, because mindset doesn't wait for conditions to confirm it creates the conditions. This is what separates achievers from dreamers. Achievers understand that form is secondary, mindset is primary. They don't wait for proof to believe. They believe until proof appears. They walk as if it's already done. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. They think, act, and speak from a place of certainty. And certainty attracts the circumstances that make it real. When you master your mindset, you stop reacting and start directing. You stop blaming and start building. You stop doubting and start deciding. Every thought becomes a brick in the structure of your destiny. Every belief becomes a beam holding your reality together. Every visualization, every affirmation, every mental repetition becomes material, slowly taking shape in the physical world. The mind is the workshop of creation. Whatever blueprint you hand it, it begins to construct. So ask yourself, what plans am I feeding it? Fear or faith, defeat or dominance, scarcity or service, because the quality of your construction depends on the precision of your mental design. You can't build a palace with the blueprint of a prison. Mindset is the master key. When you elevate it, everything else rises. You'll start to notice opportunities that were always there but hidden behind your old filters. You'll attract new people, new ideas, new energy because your internal frequency will no longer match limitation. You'll stop chasing success and start aligning with it. And soon your life will begin to look like your thoughts, because that's how creation works. The form of your life is your signature on reality. It tells the world what you've been thinking, what you've been believing, what you've been holding as truth. If you want a new form, you need a new mental framework. You must start thinking as the person you intend to become, not as the one you've been. When your mindset expands, your world has no choice but to follow. The power is already in you. The only question is, what are you shaping with it? Because whether you know it or not, you are always creating. The form of your life tomorrow depends on the mindset you hold today. Guard it, grow it, master it. Because the one who controls the mind controls the form. And the one who controls the form controls their destiny. Every human being lives between two invisible walls, limitation and abundance. One keeps you trapped, the other sets you free. The difference isn't luck, background, or opportunity, it's mindset. You can't step into abundance while still thinking like a person chained to limitation. The shift doesn't happen outside, it begins within. Until your thinking evolves, your circumstances won't. You can change your job, your city, your circle. But if your internal world still believes in lack, your life will reflect lack. Transformation begins the moment you decide you are done living small. Limitation is not the absence of resources. It's the absence of belief. It's the voice that whispers, I can't. It's the story you tell yourself about why something isn't possible for you. It's the conditioning that makes you settle, wait, and doubt instead of act. Limitation doesn't exist in the world. It exists in your perception of the world. You see, the same environment that breaks one person builds another. The same challenge that makes one quit makes another rise. What changes the outcome? Mindset. Abundance isn't something you acquire, it's something you awaken. It's already around you and within you, waiting to be recognized. You can't attract abundance while speaking scarcity. You can't walk in prosperity while thinking survival. The universe mirrors your mental state. The person who thinks from limitation sees barriers. The person who thinks from abundance sees bridges. When you start thinking from abundance, you stop asking, can I? And start declaring, I will. The shift begins with awareness. You must see how deeply limitation has been programmed into you. By society, by fear, by failure, by the opinions of others. From childhood, you've been told to be realistic, to play safe, to avoid risk. You've been trained to fit in, not to expand, but abundance doesn't live in the comfortable. It lives in the courageous. It requires stepping beyond what's familiar and believing in what you can't yet see. That's the gap where growth lives. To move from limitation to abundance, you must first take ownership of your state of mind. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop waiting for permission. The world will always reflect the boundaries you set for yourself. If you think small, you'll attract small opportunities. If you think big, you'll start pulling in ideas, people, and chances that match that energy. Abundance doesn't chase. It's drawn to certainty, to clarity, to conviction. Limitation says, I'll believe it when I see it. Abundance says, I'll see it because I believe it. That's the law of creation. You don't wait for proof. You create proof through faith and persistence. Every great builder, thinker, and creator operated from abundance long before they had evidence. They saw in their minds what didn't yet exist in the world. That's how vision turns into reality. The real prison isn't lack of money or opportunity. It's lack of imagination. People stay small because they refuse to see themselves beyond their current condition. They repeat the same days, the same fears, the same excuses, then wonder why nothing changes. You cannot build a new life with old thoughts. You must let go of the identity that thrives on limitation. The one addicted to struggle, the one comfortable with mediocrity, the one afraid of change. You must replace it with an identity that expects growth, that sees possibility everywhere, that walks in the belief that life is working for you, not against you. Abundance is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's understanding that expansion is your natural state. Look at nature. Nothing in creation apologizes for growth. Trees don't shrink to make space for others. Oceans don't stop rising. The universe itself is in constant expansion. Why would you be any different? You were created in the image of expansion. The only thing that holds you back is the story you keep replaying in your mind about what you can't do. When you shift to abundance, gratitude becomes your language. You stop complaining about what's missing and start celebrating what's present. Gratitude expands everything it touches. It multiplies the flow. You realize that every challenge carries a gift. Every setback hides a seed of growth. You stop seeing loss and start seeing lessons. That shift in perception changes everything. To live in abundance, you must also give from abundance. Scarcity hoards, abundance shares. When you contribute, when you help others rise, you prove to yourself that you have more than enough. And that energy of generosity opens the floodgates for even more. Because abundance doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who circulate it. You move from limitation to abundance the day you stop living like life happens to you and start living like life happens through you. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a vessel of creation. You are the thinker, the builder, the manifester. Your thoughts are commands to the universe. Your actions are the proof of belief, and your energy is the signal that draws everything toward you. So decide that limitation is no longer your story. Decide that you will no longer speak in the language of lack. Decide that abundance is your birthright, not your wish. Live like it's already yours. Move with the energy of someone who has more than enough. Speak from power, act from purpose, believe with conviction. Because the moment your mindset expands beyond limitation, the world expands to meet you there. That's how you shift, that's how you rise, that's how you create abundance. Not by chasing it, but by becoming it. Mindset without movement is just potential energy waiting to die. Action without mindset is motion without meaning. But when you combine the two, when you align your inner belief with outer execution, you create legacy. That's the formula most people never master. They either dream without doing or do without direction. One lives in the clouds, the other in the chaos. But those who understand that mindset and action must move together, they build things that last. They don't just talk about change, they become the change. The truth is, mindset gives your life its vision, and consistent action gives that vision its form. Thought is the blueprint, action is the construction. You can imagine greatness all day long, but until you act, your vision remains trapped in the invisible. The world doesn't reward what's in your mind. It rewards what you manifest through discipline, effort, and consistency. Legacy isn't built in bursts of inspiration. It's built in seasons of repetition. It's formed in the quiet hours when no one's watching. It's forged in the days you show up even when motivation is gone. The problem with most people is they want results without repetition. They want glory without grind. They talk about mindset but refuse to build the habits that prove it. True power is when your actions become a reflection of your belief system. When you act daily in alignment with your vision, you signal to the universe that you're serious. And the universe responds to seriousness. It gives resources, ideas, people, and opportunities to the one who stays consistent. Mindset gives birth to faith, but consistent action grows it into reality. You can't just say, "I believe I'll win." You must act like it. You must move as if the outcome is guaranteed. You must build with the confidence that your time, your energy, and your work are not being wasted. That's how you turn invisible faith into visible results. Every day you act with purpose, you carve another piece of your legacy into existence. Consistency isn't glamorous, it's repetitive, it's lonely. It's demanding, but it's the bridge between intention and manifestation. Everyone can start strong, few stay steady. Everyone wants the reward, few are willing to outlast the doubt. Consistency is the filter that separates talkers from builders. And here's the truth. The ones who win aren't the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to stop. They kept showing up when others gave up. They kept acting on their vision long after the excitement faded. When your mindset is strong, consistency becomes natural. You don't wait for motivation. You move because it's who you are. You're no longer chasing results. You're becoming the person who produces them. Your actions stop being emotional and start being intentional. You understand that every small step compounds, that every habit plants a seed, that every disciplined day moves you closer to materializing your vision. Legacy isn't built overnight. It's built over time through choices stacked on top of choices, days stacked on top of days. You see, a powerful mindset gives you clarity, but consistent action gives you credibility. You can't claim a mindset of excellence if your actions don't back it. Every move you make either strengthens or weakens your legacy. People don't remember what you said. They remember what you did, how you showed up, and what you left behind. Legacy is proof that your mindset was real, but consistency isn't just about doing the same thing. It's about growing within what you do. It's about evolving your approach, learning from mistakes, and refining your craft. The combination of reflection and repetition is what creates mastery. Anyone can work hard for a while, but legacy builders work smart for a lifetime. They treat each day as an opportunity to expand. They don't measure success by speed but by depth. Every step they take is intentional, every decision guided by vision. When you live like this, your life becomes momentum. The more you act, the more your belief strengthens. The more your belief strengthens, the more effective your actions become. It's a cycle that builds unstoppable power. That's when mindset and consistency fuse into one force. And that's when legacy begins to materialize. You no longer chase impact. Impact becomes a natural consequence of who you are. Understand this. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. It means you keep going through setbacks, through silence, through seasons of uncertainty. Every time you act in faith, you're writing another page in your story. Every time you refuse to quit, you're etching your name into time. The results may not show today, but they're accumulating quietly. Legacy doesn't announce itself. It arrives fully formed after years of unseen effort. So if you want to build something that endures, stop treating mindset as theory and start treating it as a contract. Make a promise to yourself that you will align your thinking and your doing until they become inseparable. Because the day your belief and your behavior walk in the same direction, the world shifts. You stop being just a thinker or a doer. You become a creator. That's how legacy is born. Not from one big move, but from 1,000 small, consistent ones guided by an unshakable mindset. Thought becomes plan. Plan becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. And identity becomes legacy. That's the equation, mind. Set plus consistent action equals legacy materialized. Everything else is noise, so now I leave you with this challenge. Wake the thinking substance inside you. Let it flow. Let it become the builder of your life, the architect of your wealth. Don't settle for the ordinary. Don't chase someone else's goals. Define your own vision. Plug into your substance. Act boldly and construct your legacy. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember how big your bank account was. They remember how strong your thinking was, how deeply you served, how legacy worthy you became. You have been given the thinking stuff. Use it, invest it, let it build not just wealth, but a life that matters. Thank you. If you're ready to live from your substance, to believe differently, to produce differently, let's begin right now. Your legacy starts in this moment.